All right, got 5 minutes till we officially start. Anybody have any challenges they're working on right now or want to talk about anything exciting in their business right now? Anybody have anything exciting going on? Anybody crushing it with marketing? Anything new technique? Did you learn something today? Did anybody see the presentation before this? Because I missed it. I wanted to jump in on that. Or did anybody see any of the presentations? Instagram one. I saw the Instagram one too. It was 2 seconds ago. How was that? Did you learn something?
I'm doing everything right. I'm trying to build up my engagement.
So you're doing your own Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. Are you the owner, operator?
I'm the marketing director.
You're the marketing director. Okay. So you're doing your Instagram in-house yourself?
Yes.
You do everything? Okay. Excellent. A lot of us are faced with challenges of doing all this stuff because we're small independent restaurant owners and we just don't know where to begin. And sometimes instead of where do we begin, we just never begin. And it's like Instagram, Facebook, and like somebody said the other day, how about MySpace? I'm like, wow, you're behind, right? So I think it still exists, by the way. I think. Quick little story. The guy who owns MySpace, you were friends with him when Tom, right? Tom and Zuckerberg were friends. And they were having a conversation, and Tom said to Zuckerberg, do you know what would change your platform? If you allowed people to upload multiple pictures as their profile, upload multiple pictures at a time. Tom didn't do that. Zuckerberg did it. And Zuckerberg will say to this day, I should have used my own advice. So the two were masterminding back then on how to grow their businesses. One took action, one didn't. And there was a person's idea who actually, he didn't do it, and he equates some of that he equates Zuckerberg's success to one of those factors to his success was multiple uploads at one time. So the key is taking action on things that we learn. There's a lot of professional seminar attendees, people that go to school, people that read a lot, and there's people that feel they have to pay a lot for courses, take these courses. I need to know how to do it. The bottom line is you just have to do it. And in a small restaurant, it gets tough because, first of all, I own a restaurant as well. So I run my restaurant every day, and then I come and speak because I love speaking and sharing my passion and knowledge. And I also have a travel business where we take people to Italy twice a year to vineyards. So I got my hands in a bunch of things, but I still run my restaurant every single day. I worked till 1 o'clock last night, got on a flight at 8 o'clock this morning, and I'm getting back at 11:30 tonight in New York, and I have to go to 2 events tomorrow in New York City. My restaurant's in upstate New York, and I'm trying to manage my staff right now because my chef walked out on Thursday because I was holding her accountable to our 5-star standards. Figure that, right? How dare me want to keep going with our standards of high quality food and service. So she didn't really like that so much, so she walked out on me. So I go through the same struggles that a lot of you do with on a daily basis, and I've learned to delegate. I've learned not to be so much of a control freak like I used to be. I've learned a lot of things over the last 16 years of being in business. But the stuff that I'm going to talk about today, psychology marketing, is some of the coolest stuff I think I've learned because it's really, really helped my business. I was talking to Johnny over here, and we were talking about a loyalty program, how a loyalty program has raised his business 30% a year. The last 3 years, you said? 30% a year the last 3 years in a row, growth. Been in business 70 years. That's astronomical. If you're in business 70 years and you're having growth like that, you're taking action, right? So I'm at a point, I've been in business 16 years. In my last 2 years, I've had massive growth where I stopped booking weddings. I told my wife, stop booking weddings. Stop booking this, just raise our prices and just stop booking stuff. And I'm happy with it because business is so good that why just knock myself out with everything? Doesn't make sense. We started a travel business to Italy. I make more in 2 weeks taking people to Italy than I do all year in the restaurant. So why should I worry about weddings? Why should I worry about, so we still do weddings, but we get what we want for them, and I don't do a lot of ad spend on weddings because I don't miss the business. My business is up and up and up. I've had 16 years in business. This summer, I've had 5 record-setting Sundays, a la carte, 5 record-setting Sundays. My staff is like, that's been with me 10, 15 years, they're like, Marcus, what in the world are you doing? And I'm like, I'm trying to hire staff to help you. They're like, keep doing it. This is great. I mean, we were busy last year and the year before, but they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, all right, so it's 3:30. So let me just make sure that I'm recording here. I like to come into the crowd here and talk a lot. I like to ask questions. I like you to ask questions. Okay, I won't need it until later.
Okay.
So my camera's on, my audio's on. So again, if you miss this, you can watch it on my YouTube channel, probably starting tomorrow if I can get it up that quick, or the next day. So psychology marketing. So 5 key elements to your digital presence. Sorry, I'm not used to a PC, so I have to figure out where the arrow is, and this clicker's not working. So I've been a restaurant owner since 2003. I've been in the business since 1989. I write for Forbes, write for the Business Council. Like I said in the beginning, I love sharing my ideas. I consider myself a marketing maniac before a restaurant owner and before a chef. Professionally trained chef, worked at the Greenbrier in West Virginia, the Broadmoor, worked for Pierre Kaufman in London, a Michelin 3-star. He was the one who trained Gordon Ramsay and Marco Pierre White. That was back in the late 90s. So my first love in this whole thing was cooking behind the stove. Written 3 business books because in 2003 when I opened, I had to learn how to market. I was forced to learn how to market. And restaurant success coach, which I love sharing our ideas, my passion. Usually my wife is here with me. She just couldn't escape this time, and we're in New York City the next 2 days for a couple events. So 96.2% of restaurant owners that are surveyed said they want more time and money. Can anybody relate to that? Does that sound familiar? So I know I feel like that a lot of times. That's a gnat. A gnat has a very short attention span. There is no different than a gnat than the people that you're trying to reach online. We all have short attention spans. How many times have you gotten onto a website and known within 3 to 7 seconds you're not doing business with that company? Because you've had to work too hard to get their phone number. You've had to work too hard to find out to get what you're getting. Where are they located? It's easier for you to jump and go to another website to get the information that's put in front of you. 4 reasons why people go to your website. 4 main reasons. Your food, number 1. This is not part of the presentation, by the way. This is just a little extra. They go to your website for food. They go to your website for your phone number. They want to make a reservation. They want to contact you. They want to know where you are, your address. Those 4 things. If those 4 things are not visible, that gnat's buzzing off. That's the bottom line. 3 to 7 seconds. So your biggest digital platform, the stuff I'm going to talk about today works in everything. All your print, in person, 4 walls marketing, business cards. But your biggest digital platform is your website. Who here does not have a website? Everybody has a website? Mostly? 1 person, no website? Mostly website? Okay, good. I still meet people today that they say, I don't need a website. And that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother seminar. Quick marketing lesson. $32 billion a year goes to pet food. That's a massive industry. They have no choice of what they're eating. The person buying it never eats the product. That is emotion-based marketing. People buy dog food and cat food because they feel good about what they're giving their pets. When your guests feel good about eating your food and your contribution to the community or the environment or their pocketbook, that's emotion-based spending. So Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, business partner, came up with 25 reasons that people buy. 25 reasons that people buy and they don't realize that they're actually buying. So he came up with his cognitive biases that control your life. 25 reasons, but these biases increase revenue when these are used properly. The brain is easily tricked into making decisions. The brain loves saving energy and taking shortcuts. That's our caveman mentality. That's our ancestors. That's our lineage. That's our caveman mentality. Our brain takes shortcuts whenever it possibly can to conserve energy. So Munger came up with 25 reasons why people buy. I picked what I feel the top 5, being a restaurant owner myself, that I and us need to do on a regular basis to take advantage of what Charlie Munger talks about. The number one reason people buy is the reward bias. What's in it for the guest? Not how good you are, that's part of this, but what's in it for them. That's the number one reason people buy. The power that gives you incentive to take action. Munger says this should be obvious, but so many people don't understand how important incentives are for shaping people's motivation to complete a task or take action. What's in it for the guest? So here's somebody that I've worked with, and he has a great loyalty program, a reward program. Johnny just said he's grown his business 30% in 3 years by offering a reward system, loyalty program. That's something that's in it for the guest. So here's something that's great. It's on their website. Sign up, earn some free food. Here's a client we work with in Texas. Get a free order of the world's or the best mac and cheese. He was written up in the newspaper as award-winning mac and cheese. So come in and grab that. Pop up right on his website. If you have a website, you need to be implementing pop-ups, site messaging and pop-ups. This is a way, sort of like a squeeze page or like a funnel, where you're prompting action from the people that are landing on your page. You want to give them something for something. It's a trade-off. Their reward is free food, $10 gift card. Now let's be honest, not everybody wants monetary incentives. But I gotta tell you, the Instagram speaker who's here, Emma, said she loves to see how six-figure earners love to get a discount, right? That's so true. No matter how much money you make, when you feel like you've won something, you feel like, oh, that's cool, I just won something, I'm lucky. For me, I want a good glass of wine. It doesn't need to be discounted, it doesn't need to be half price. I don't need anything. I want a good glass of wine. If you're in a fine dining restaurant or a wine bar, you better be giving a good glass of wine to your guests. Now, some people just want to know they're taking care of the environment. Some people want to feel good that they didn't use styrofoam, that they ate a vegetarian meatless Monday, that they ate something caught sustainably, that they didn't eat farm-raised salmon. Some people just want to know take care of the environment. Again, no discount needed. They feel good. That's their reward from giving you their money. Is that feel good? It's that emotion. Same reason that people buy the dog food. Number 2, the liking or loving tendency. We love to do business with products or companies or people that we admire. So this is talking about being likable. You all know when you walk into a bar and you sit down, you know in a tenth of a second if you're getting along with that bartender or not. Am I right? Tenth of a second. You know if that bartender is likable or not. Their energy, the way they approach you, did they look at you in the eyes? Did they not look at? How many times have you gone to a place and they can't even look at you in the eyes? Like, I'm not that important if you look at me in the eyes. You handed me the menu and you walked away. Like, really? We all know that, right? Gordon Ramsay, we all know Gordon Ramsay. Likeable there? Is he likable there? How many people like him? Right? So to you, he's probably likable, right? A much nicer picture. If you're going to put a picture on the website, let's put that picture. The first picture is not a good picture for the website. So there's Gordon Ramsay in a likable picture. Now the funny thing is, if you've decided that you've already liked Gordon Ramsay previous to this, it doesn't matter what he does because you will defend his actions. It's just like a politician. You know what they've done and you're still going to vote for them Because you're defending their actions. Doesn't matter that Gordon puts his kids in the back of the plane and he sits first class. Because you like him already. He can do anything he wants. You're going to like him. And that's the way the brain works. Most people admire Gordon Ramsay. They don't care what he does. Here's the Williams family. When you go to their website, they're virtually greeting you on their website. The whole family, they're looking at you, straight on looking at you. Hi, we're the Williams family, and we want to welcome you to the Old Barn Out Back. We're very proud of our restaurant, and we're committed to providing you with the best this, best that, best this. That's a likable family. I want to do business with them, and so do a lot of other people. Who here who has a website, which is most of you, are on your website? You're on your website looking at your guests, giving them good job. So, everybody who's not doing that, do you know what you need to do? Get on your website, just like that bartender who slaps the menus down and walks away without making eye contact. You already know, not getting along. Remember, the brain is lazy. The brain is taking shortcuts. This stuff is happening and you don't even know it's happening. You make these decisions all the time and not realize it. Your guests are making these decisions all the time. If you're on your website, you're giving them one more bias. You're giving them one more reason to do business with you. Does anybody need more reasons to do business? I mean, is everybody's register that full? I know my register's not that full. And I'm having record-setting year, but my register can still take more money. So, if you're not on your website, you might not be that likable. If a lady walks into if a lady goes onto a website looking for a caterer and that just got put on her finger, you better be likable. She's getting ready to spend a lot of money. I was working with a client last year. I said, how long have you been in business? You're claiming to be one of the best caterers. How long have you been in business? It was 25 years, Marcus, 26 years. I said, nowhere on your website does it say that. She needs to trust somebody right now. She's got a lot of money to spend. If she jumps on your website and she sees that you're the best caterer for the last 26 years, don't you think she's gonna be able to take a deep breath and say, wow, okay, the brain kicks in, that's a quantitative number that somebody can rely on, and she's gonna feel more comfortable. And this is not a simple $30 transaction, folks. This is a $10,000, $20,000 transaction. Number 3, social proof tendency. Social proof, coin turned by Robert Cialdini in his 1984 book, Influence. Who's read that book? Anybody read that book? Amazing book. It's also known as the informational social influence. It describes a psychology and social phenomenon wherein people copy the actions of others. People copy the actions of others. Have you ever copied somebody else's actions?
I got a text to come over here for 8
Yeah, will I be able to get onto the internet later?
There's no Wi-Fi.
There's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
What time do you need it for?
20 minutes, 25 minutes, 20 minutes.
Right after you're done talking?
Right when I'm done, I'll cut my speech short to go on and critique some websites.
Oh, yeah, there's no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi? Okay.
Sorry
all right.
about that.
Okay. Okay, so 1997, I'm in Rome with my future wife. We're traveling. I was 23, 24 years old. When in Rome, do as the Romans, right? Not me. I'm getting on that bus and I'm paying for the bus. Romans are notorious for not paying for the bus. They get on the bus, they sit down and they don't say anything. They don't pay. I said, you know what? I'm a 24-year-old American in Rome. The last thing I want to do is go to jail. I'm paying when I get on the bus. My money is in my hand. I'm paying. I'm in line. I get on the bus. I walk in with everybody, and guess what happens? I don't want to be singled out. I don't stop. It happens just like that, and I sit down with everybody. I don't pay for getting on the bus because I was copying the actions of others. Just what happens. It's the brain taking shortcuts. I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want to be the only one standing in line to pay. I was like, why am I the only one stopping? Out of 50 people getting on the bus, just happens. If you're Googling online or searching or getting on a website, what barbecue place are you going to? You're going to a 5-star, maybe a 4-star. You're definitely not going to a 2-star. If you had a choice here, you're going to a 5 or 4, right? That's just simple. That's totally simple. This happens all the time. Every day you're making this decision in a split second, possibly without even knowing it. So how do you take this to your advantage? In the beginning, I said, why do people go to your restaurant website? They go for your food. There are so many websites out there that I cannot tell if you're a furniture store selling a bar stool or a restaurant selling food. You need to show emotions in your website. An empty building, an empty place setting, an empty tent with nobody in it, there's no emotions in that. It's nice, oh, that's great China, but what are you really selling? Remember the dogs? We're selling an emotional experience. There's zero emotions in a room that's empty. I'm not saying you don't have to have an empty photo on your website, but you need to have more pictures on your website with people having fun than not having fun. You don't even see anything here. There's no tent, there's no ballroom, there's nothing, but they're having fun. People want to have fun. So back to the 5 stars. This is from my website right here. You go to Google, you go to Yelp, you go to TripAdvisor, you snapshot your 5-star reviews, and you post them on your website. You post them on the first page of your website. Remember, the brain is lazy. We don't like to work. I've gone to so many websites where I say, where are your testimonials? Oh, you have to click a link. Where's your food? Oh, you have to click a link. Where's your phone number? Oh, you got to click the link, Marcus. It's right there. People don't want to click links. The link they're clicking is the next button for a new tab to go into somebody else's website is going to give it to them right then and there. This is right on my home page, front page. I'm not saying don't have a lot of pages on your website because it's great content, but those things that people need that are going to make people buy from you, keep them past that 7 seconds, need to be visible right from the get-go. Now there's a little hack. Who here just loves Yelp? That's what I thought. Okay, so when you get a 5-star review from Yelp and Yelp filters it, snapshot that review and upload it as your photo, as a photo on Yelp. So we were talking in the Instagram earlier, the Instagram one that was here 2 sessions ago. She was talking about taking your reviews and using them on your Instagram posts. Use them on the review sites. Upload them. Who here uploads photos to Yelp on a regular basis? I upload a photo to Yelp every single day under my admin account. Who posts a photo on Google, your Google Place page? How often do you do it? How often? Once a week? Good job. We do two a day. We do 2 photos on Google a day. Right now. Congratulations, your photo got 25 views. Congratulations, your photo got this. Do you know you can post events on Google? When you go Google your restaurant, you'll see on the right-hand side, your place page will come up, your business page. On the right-hand side, it says review stuff. You can actually put your events right there. People can see what events you have coming up. My business page, my coaching page, Marcus Guiliano, it's listed me here speaking this week as an event. My restaurant has my muscle event coming up. It has a wine dinner coming up. You can list events. You can post YouTube videos on your Google page. It's content. Every single day or every single week, you should be uploading photos to these sites. Not only Instagram and not only Facebook, not only Pinterest, but all the other ones too. So now here's something that's really cool. I put on here over 500 5-star reviews. If 500 people have come to my restaurant and had a 5-star experience, you'd want one as well. People copy the actions of others. 500 five-star experiences. I want to be number 501. Numbers are so huge. But the kid who's been in business for 25 years, 26 years, people can relate to numbers. This is my coaching page. 30 years in the restaurant experience, in the restaurant business. 75,000 YouTube subscribers. 17 million YouTube views. People understand numbers. Numbers work very well. And the reason numbers work is because people lie. Numbers don't. Numbers are quantitative. I urge you to get any single number you can get on your restaurant, whether you've been in business 5 years, 25 years, whether you have 10 five-star reviews or 500 five-star reviews, you use that to your marketing, on your digital platform, on your website. You use that so people can make a quick decision. Use this so somebody like me doesn't pay for the bus and they get on and sit down with what everybody else is doing, because we're all doing that. They've known it for a long time. I love to tell people, people think a successful restaurant is good food and good service. No. Great marketing. That's what restaurant is. It's great marketing. If you have good food and good service, awesome, because that's going to help you even more. But if you have a big ad spend and a good message, you can make stuff happen. Bias number 4, the authority bias. Authority bias is this tendency to attribute greater accuracy to the opinion of an authority figure, even unrelated to its content. This is so important. Unrelated to its content. And be more influenced by that opinion. So I've written some business books. I've written 2, 3 business books. But my first love is food activism. I was named top 5 food activist in 2014 by One Green Planet. So Michael Pollan, the Food Babe, Gabriel Cousins, some very influential people. So I go around, do a lot of speeches on real food, the environment. Lux Life magazine just named us top farm-to-table restaurant for New York State. It's a UK publication. We just got that award 2 days ago. I will go talk about what fish you should be eating. And this is before I knew psychology marketing. People would say to me, I want to buy your book. I said, I have a business book. They would say, I don't care. What are you selling? I said, a business book. Do you have a business? No, I don't have a business, but I want your book. So now I know when I go to speak about fish, I can sell a ton of business books because I'm the authority on the stage talking about a topic, and you're buying something from me that's totally unrelated. Use anything you have that defines you as an authority and put it on your website. Plain and simple. People respect that. People trust that. It's personal. This is before I knew this and I couldn't figure this out. Then when I started reading Charlie Munger's stuff, I was like, man, print more books. Let me talk more about fish. Right? This is easy. You can get my book for free, by the way. You can go to restaurantgrowthsecretsuniversity.com or actually 50mistakes.com. There's a link for free. You pay a few bucks for shipping. I couldn't bring books here. If you're in New York, books with me. Another thing that you can creates authority. We got named top 15 marketing restaurant blogs last year. Just something, anything that you get, any kind of award, any kind of publication, any kind of write-up in the newspaper, like the mac and cheese, the best mac and cheese that our client has in Texas, that gives you authority. People need to know that because it's going to help them give you money. Bottom line. I was in New York City, as I am often. I'm walking up and down the street. I'm hungry for lunch. My wife and I are walking up and down. We stop at every single restaurant. We look in the window. We look at the menu. We're like, no. Walk around the board and see a Michelin logo. Didn't even look at the menu. I teach this stuff, and I fell for it. I would never go back to the restaurant I went into that day that had this on their front door, and nor would I have gone in to look at their menu. I made a quick decision based upon the authority of the Michelin Guide on their door. And I was consciously looking for something specific to eat. I teach this stuff, and I still got tricked. That's how powerful this stuff is. Number 5, influence from mere association. We can easily manipulate. Does anybody see this stuff working? Is this stuff you can put on your website like right away, on a business card right away, anywhere right away? This is stuff that like you can say like, yeah, like I can see this stuff working. So number 5, and again, there's Charlie Munger came up with 25 of these. 25. So if you really want to get into this stuff, go just Google Charlie Munger's 25 cognitive biases of buying, and you'll come up with all 25. Again, I adapted what I thought were the 5 best for the restaurant industry to make all of us more money. Because I use these, as you can see on my website, to make more money. I just started this stuff like this psychology market. I started in my own business about a year and a half ago. 2 years ago tops, I started. I was doing some of it, but I didn't understand what I was doing. Like we all put testimonials on our website. Now you know why you need to put a testimonial on your website. Now you know where you need to put it. Now you know why you need to put somebody else's 5-star review. Whatever it is. Now you know where and why. So influence from mere association. We can easily be manipulated by mere association. It can be a group of people, quality of a product, advertising, etc. That's why brands use famous people to promote their products, like Michael Jordan and Nike, or any sports figure authority, or any actor or actress. So I keep this in here. I have no idea why this is in here, but it's in here, and I just haven't taken it out yet. Done this speech several times. It's a messy kitchen. So, very fast-growing chain, very successful. Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza. I always stop in when there's one around. I really like their concept. Dan Marino does too. That's why I invested in it. When you go to the website, that's what you see. You see Dan Marino on their website. That's the association bias right there. When I was 12 years old, I begged for these because I knew I could play I knew I could play basketball better if I got those. Did I? No. But I knew I could, and that was part of my sales pitch to my parents. I can play basketball better. I'll make the basketball team. I can guarantee you that Mickey Mantle is never coming here. Never, ever, ever. This restaurant is still alive and going. Hotels figured this out a long time ago. Ooh, the presidential suite. So-and-so slept here. Hotels, they figured it out. They've been doing it for years. So, where else does this work? As I said in the beginning, the real question is, where doesn't this work? It works when somebody walks in your door and you're standing in your restaurant, and you're working in your restaurant, and you're saying hello to somebody. It works right then and there. Some of us aren't in our restaurant every single day, or some of us aren't in restaurants at all. So it's important for our staff to be doing this. It's important for our business cards, our website, our Facebook, anywhere we possibly can employ these 5 cognitive biases, psychological biases of buying. We need to incorporate them. That's the bottom line. Wherever and whenever, as often as you possibly can. Time's running out. So, any questions on this stuff? Usually what happens right now is we have internet service, and I'll pull up one of your websites, and we'll go through it, which I'll be happy to do outside of this speech, because we're on time deadlines. I have about 15 minutes. So I'll be happy to do that outside of here. We can go on your phone or whatever. I'll hang around over here or something. We can go over into the show office right over there where I'll talk about the shows. I'm happy to do that. But it's pretty cool because I think all of you know what you need now, right? It's pretty simple. Get the stuff up. You have it. I know all of you have it. You can go to Yelp and you can easily grab it. You can easily say what I'm the expert at and go put that on there. Yes.
What benefit does that have? Does that keep your page more active?
So adding multiple photos to Yelp, your guests are adding photos to Yelp without you knowing it or knowing it. So if you control the majority of the content going on Yelp, you have control. If you upload, this is good stuff. You can literally take take 5-star reviews from TripAdvisor and upload them to your Yelp photos. I think Yelp hates it, but just do it anyway, right? Just you upload you control the content. It's your content. The more of your content there, the easier it is for guests to see what's happening in your place. Because I can guarantee you the photo you're going to put up is a lot better than Sally is on Saturday night after she's had 3 margaritas and she's stumbling out the door in the photo she took, right? Your photo's probably better quality than that. So TripAdvisor takes photos, Google takes photos, Yelp takes photos. If you go see GoDaddy, Loku.com, upload all to Loku, and Loku distributes. It's like single platform, one of those tools, just distributes it across the board. Loku, LOCU.com or singleplatform.com will help you distribute content everywhere. So in the beginning I asked, what's exciting about your business? Because I'm really excited when I talk to the restaurant owners. And I belong to a mastermind group for 11 years where I paid $800 a month and we traveled 3 times a year to meet, only 3 meetings. But I locked myself in with a lot of very highly successful restaurant owners. And we would just sit there and network, share ideas, share operational things. It was amazing. It was something that propelled my business. So I always love to talk to people. I love to get on the phone with people and say, hey, what do you think that's crushing it right now? Maybe I can adapt something. Maybe I can adapt something that I'm doing. Because this is all about sharing content. Everything I spoke to you about today, I do in my restaurant. I still own a restaurant. I love my restaurant. People keep saying to me, because I coach now, people go, oh, you don't need the restaurant industry. You don't need the restaurant. Honestly, I couldn't think of not having my restaurant. It's my baby. I love it. It's an expression of myself. So for me, whenever anybody says, well, you don't even have a restaurant anymore, I just cringe right away. I'm like, no, that's who I am. The restaurant's me. All this other stuff I love doing, I love sharing, and I love what you guys can share with me. Like Johnny's story was great, man. I love people that are crushing it. 30% more, 3 years in a row. Now, those are major bragging rights, not to your guests, but to our realm of people. Those are major bragging rights. You should be going to see Johnny afterwards and say, what are you doing? 30%, but 70 years, growing your business 30%, 3 years. I'm gonna go talk to him after this. I was talking to him before this, because I want to know what he's doing, right? So, quick thing of what I do in my coaching realm. My wife and I have a coaching platform where we do group coaching calls. Our number one product right now, which is totally killing it, crushing it, the number one reason people go out to eat is for their birthdays. That's the number one reason, hands down. 70% of Americans go out. They either go out willingly or unconsciously. People yank them, pull them. They go out in groups of parties. The average person is 4 to 6 people. This is according to the National Restaurant Association. These aren't my statistics. And again, numbers don't lie if you can prove them, right? So every one of your guests has a birthday. Who here builds a list? Build your list, build your list, build your database, right? Your database is key. If your restaurant burnt down tomorrow and you had to reopen in 6 months or 6 years, how are you going to let all those people know where you went? You're going to email them. You're going to mail them. You're going to let them know. If you don't have a list, you can't do that. If you're selling your restaurant and somebody goes, gee, your restaurant, it's not worth that much. Well, gee, here's a list of 25,000 people I've done business with in 10 years that have been actively into my restaurant. Do you think that'll go a long way? 25,000 people? And if they don't ask for the list, you take the list with you because you worked for it. And when you go to open a restaurant 5 years down the road, 5 months down the road, you email all those 25,000 people and say, come to my new restaurant, providing you're not breaking a clause in the non-compete contract. But your biggest asset is your list. Number one, the first thing we teach everybody is build your list however you can. Build it, build. Comment cards, who puts a comment card out? Comment cards are huge. People love filling stuff out. It's so archaic still, but people love doing that. There's digital ways to do it. There's all kinds of ways to do that. So, but people love filling that out and dropping it in. Comment cards, you should be asking what they're doing, what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Solicit feedback. Have a spot there, solicit it so you can use their comment, their testimonial, and their name where they give you rights to use it. If they don't, then don't use it. And you should be emailing back every single person who fills one out. Not just sticking them in a pile somewhere, emailing every single person. Not you personally, because I don't do it personally. The person who sits next to me in my office does it personally, and she runs things by me that might need my attention. So if they're not in your seats, they're in somebody else's seats, the bottom line, right? Does anybody feel like I will do anything to step on my competitor's throat? Literally, almost anything. Fair game, whatever's fair game, I will do to get them in my seat. Who's doing geofencing? Hold the topic. Steal your competitor's customers like crazy, geofencing. It's awesome stuff. That's a whole nother thing. You basically advertise to people that are sitting in the seats of your competitor's restaurant. It's called geofencing. Look it up, hire somebody to do it. Talk to me after, I can show you. So I can't allow people to be in other seats. I do snail mail. I love snail mail. I send postcards out for people's birthdays. For every $1 I spend on a postcard, I get back $34. 34 to 1 return. I split tested emails, I get like 17 to 1, 18 to 1. We get a result with emails, but postcards, when they're holding a 6x9 postcard in their hand that's personalized to them. By the way, closing list on my staff. Every single night, they have to write 5 postcards to guests from that night because they're on our list. We know their address. We know their name. So every night they have to handwrite 5 postcards. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you, Sally. Glad you enjoyed the lobster and shrimp scampi. They were sitting outside with their dog, or your dog was so cute. Glad to meet you. Thanks for bringing in your grandma. People love that. You are being likable. It's an easy way to be likable. So we do this strategy. We do this strategy on Facebook. Who does Facebook ads? Okay, handful of people. Do you like Facebook ads? Do you think they're working? Do they work? Not at the moment. Are they working? Not. Facebook knows everything. Who's ever gone on? This is the true test. People say, "Oh, Facebook ads don't work." I go to their website. If you don't have your Facebook pixel, you don't know what pixel is. You're doing the ads wrong. If your pixel's not on your website, you're doing ads wrong. You go to Zappos. You look up a pair of shoes. Whether it's an hour later, 10 hours later, 10 days later, you go to Facebook. What's the first ad you see? Zappos. It's called retargeting. There's 3 types of customers: slow lane, sidewalk, slow lane, fast lane. Somebody on the sidewalk, attention, 3 to 7 seconds. You have to tackle them, hold them down, and give them your product. Walk guest. Somebody in the slow lane knows who you are. They've heard about you. La la la. Somebody in the fast lane, you just open the door and they're going to walk in. 3 types of potential guests. You market to all 3 of those differently, totally differently, because different message. Tackle one, open the door for one. So once you start segregating stuff on Facebook, retarget. If they're on your website, they're interested. They just went from the sidewalk to the slow lane. Now your job is to get them into the fast lane. That's called retargeting ads. Facebook works phenomenal for that. Facebook knows everything about everybody. If you can do some Facebook implementation in your emails, every one of my emails that we send out, we teach all our clients, everything is action-based. They click a link for a beer dinner, they're tagged beer fans. They open an email, they don't open an email. They don't open an email for 60 days, they get a different message than somebody who opened an email 6 hours ago. 2 different types of guests. Somebody who clicks the link for beer, they're interested in beer dinners. Somebody who clicks the Meatless Monday on an email is a vegetarian. Don't send them a steak offer. Send them a vegetarian offer. You can actually do this is a whole other course too. You can actually segment your list and play everything action-based emails. So it's like Facebook where you know everything about your guests. It's amazing stuff. The technology we have now, the numbers we have now, the stuff we have to promote our business is insane. Facebook works awesome. So Facebook knows when everybody's birthday is, right? Because you have to put your birthday in when you sign in. Imagine placing an ad to people 7 days before their birthday with an offer for them to come into your restaurant. 70% of them are already going out anyway, says the National Restaurant Association. They're already going out. They're bringing 46 people with them. I will do anything to get them in my seat, my neighbor's seat. I will step on their throat if I have to get them in my seat. I'm the one staying in business. This is my livelihood. Fairly, of course. So we offer this plan where we do this Facebook. Who does chat bots? Anybody do bots? Bot marketing? Oh, amazing stuff. Bots are not dead, by the way. People say bots are dead. Facebook changed the rules. This stuff is awesome. It's just going to grow and grow and grow. There's so many integrations to it's insane what you can do. So we place an ad on Facebook, get them into your restaurant, give them an offer. They come in with their phone, redeem the offer. They plug in their email. It goes into your database, right through a Google Documents, and you import it into, if you're using AdCampaign, constant content, it imports it right in and it builds your lists. In a small rundown area where I'm at of 4,000 people, the closest city maybe a half an hour away, I add 10 to 20 people a day on my list with birthdays within a 5-mile radius of my restaurant. I'm in the middle of nowhere in upstate New York. I have clients that add 40 to 50 people a day into their list because they're in a populated area. People come in, it's insane what happens. A friend of mine did this. I called my friend Jim. I said, Jim, I'm on to something. Jim goes, okay, I'm going to try this, Marcus. In the first 2 days, I had 4 new tables to come into my restaurant. The first table was $211. Jim calls me back and goes, Marcus, teach me how to do this. One of my mastermind friends, my good mastermind friends, I'm on the phone with him 5 days a week masterminding. He goes, Marcus, show me how to do this. It's simple. That's how it works. You target people in your area. Geofencing, by the way, you actually go in and you target restaurant. Like I can target everybody in this building right here, draw a fence around it, and advertise to everybody who's in this building. That's how geofencing works. Imagine this was a big restaurant, and your restaurant down the street. That's geofencing, whole nother topic. So we do this birthday bot. We come in, we do all the ad spend, because the one thing that's frustrating with Facebook is you have to monitor Facebook ads daily, understand how they're performing. We do all the ad spend. We do everything. We set it up. We give you my university, Restaurant Growth Secrets University. We give you all these bonuses. I am going to give some of these away today. These bots. These bots are really cool. If anybody wants to buy one today, I'll sell you one too. Those things I have in back, yeah. So I have these things where you sign up today. I'm literally going to take 6 people and build you a bot to show you that this stuff works. I'll contact you next week. We'll go through your Facebook. I will set up it. I will spend money on the ad. We'll run it for 7 or 14 days, and you will see that your phone is blowing up with people that want to come into your restaurant that are then going to your list. This stuff is super simple. So basically the plan is you pay monthly. We give you coaching calls every week. It's the price of a coach. This is an insane offer that we're doing. I just started this like 5-6 months ago. And I've been coaching for a while, but this part of this package is great. If anybody's interested, we got to make room for the next speaker. Who's up next? Oh, we got a good one coming up next. We got a real good one coming up next. So again, I'm happy to answer any questions on this kind of stuff. We can convene over here somewhere. And yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, everybody.